Hey, it's Shaves, and welcome to another edition of AniTube Digest, where we go over the best and not so best anime YouTube videos to come out this week from the 19th of October to the 26th of October. And now for the videos that I thought were not good. So I hate to do it to both of these guys again. Because one of them, it's just like, I think I've only talked about them negatively, and I'm not always that interested in clicking on their videos otherwise, but he's getting a lot of good traction and really working hard and putting out a lot of stuff very frequently, which is great to see. But I saw that he posted this video, the worst anime manga YouTuber. It's by the Masked Man, and that's who I'm talking about. And I respect the hustle a ton. And he's usually, I think he's a lot more positive. Otherwise, he's kind of talking more constructively and more like additively in the rest of his videos. So I hate to be highlighting just one of these videos from him. But I just think it was something different from him and something that I was interested in seeing. That's usually what garners me watching a video is me seeing it or a new creator or something that they put out this week. And, it's kind of it's by that, really. But talking about another YouTuber like this, that's what I do. And I was interested in which one he was talking about, and it's a guy I have not heard of before. And I subscribed to him because I wanted to see him, but I didn't click on any of his videos because, it is definitely someone I would not be interested in really watching his videos all that much, but I'm still going to keep my eye on him. But that's because like this creator, and I'm not going to bother looking at who it is. You can just watch Maskman's video on it. But he calls him out and everything. But like this particular creator, I think it is. I can see why Maskman is talking about him in this way and calling him the worst, because it's not great. Yeah, his content doesn't look all that appealing. It's mostly just kind of shitting on a bunch of popular stuff, and this sucks, this very generic, not even specific reasons it sucks, in the title at least. And I've only seen a small clip of one of his videos from another YouTuber that Maskman links in the description, who also made a video on this guy of like whether but I couldn't even finish that video. I was just like, yeah, whatever, it's I don't care. Because like, but the thing with Maskman, the reason he's in this not good category here, it's really one photo, it's one still, and it's really just kind of a rant. It's just him talking about this guy, and I don't know why he's bringing him up. I don't know what kind of motivated him to talk about him. Did this guy name drop Maskman at first? Did he start the beef and now Maskman is responding to it? I don't think so. It just kind of came out of left field, I think. Is this guy poisoning the discourse? It seems like it, but like, just the way anyone, it's just some guy, I guess. I don't know. It's not like some like rising thing. And like, I think Maskman is just kind of complaining of how, shitty his takes are, and just how pessimistic and negative he is, and taking advantage of his fans. I think there's certainly points of contention you can have with him, and I think those are fair, but he didn't really use any concrete examples besides this one video of like he says like, go watch here's the first 30 seconds of like his video on top 10 overrated manga. And he doesn't show the 10 seconds. Maskman doesn't show the 10 seconds in his video. I'm not going to give this guy views. I don't want to click on his video. Show me the video. Download his video. Like, you can download people's videos and show the first 30 seconds and point to this as like, he addresses this thing and this is what he says. Like, you can totally have a kind of like a breakdown of other people's content, but you have to kind of show the content, that's just it. I couldn't get a sense of it, and I had to physically click on the guy's video on the guy's channel to kind of know what he's talking about. And I was just kind of listening to it, I guess. But it was just weird that Maskman would bring this up, and then now I saw like in the latest on the video on the other guy's channel, he responded to Maskman. So now I guess they're gonna have some back and forth if Maskman wants to continue it. I just don't get it. It's really pointless drama of like this guy's bad. You know what I mean? And I guess I'm sort of feeding into that by mentioning it on Digest, but like I wanted to kind of throw my piece in because it obviously reminds me of what I'm doing here. Um, talking about other creators and stuff. And I'm usually never talking about like this person's opinion is bad, like, oh, he thinks this of one piece or this thing of this other thing. Um, like, yeah, I think it's really shitty and distasteful to call people who like a series dumb or retards, or like he uses the R word apparently a lot. Um, and yeah, it sounds awful. But then it's like, why bother talking about the guy? Like, why give him exposure? Do your own thing. I don't see why Masked Man's doing this. That was weird. And so like if you're gonna go through with it, and then like so like actually like don't like I get that he does this unscripted, and you can keep this unscripted, but like you can do stuff visually, um, or just yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he was just kind of talking about the creator and less so like his videos, I guess, which I think is also a better way to talk about this sort of thing. You want to go video by video and not by summing up the creator as a whole. Like you think of counter examples with Craftsdwarf mentioning specific videos of that Eye Patch Wolf did. Um, and the other creator I was just thinking of just like, or like iDubbbz or something, where like you're showing a lot. You have to show a lot. I think you have to demonstrate stuff. And I get that you mention a couple of videos, um, but I'm not gonna click on them. It's like, so show me. You know what I mean? And the most evidence he has in the video itself is again that one still. It's like him holding the guy's comment. I guess he streams sometimes, and he's like, the comment says, "I will not stop the stream until you guys donate to me." Like something really shitty and dumb like that. It's like, yeah, that's really scummy, but like, and I guess that's all you really need. But if you're gonna make a 10-minute video on this guy, you know what I mean? It's like it was weird to me. Um, and another thing I was noticing about the way Masked Man was talking about it, like he was framing the majority of his counter arguments towards himself. He's like, what I would do, I wouldn't do that. I care this, and he kind of always reverts back to himself. And I get that sort of, and obviously I've done that with my own, with Digest, where I talk about what I would do, or, talk about my own content or something, or I say like, as a video creator, as someone else who does this sort of thing, this is my perspective or something. I get that, but it just, the way you kept saying that, and it kept being about you and contrasting him to you, was not great. I don't know. It came off as like, I make better content, you know. And it's like, sure, people can believe that and you can say that, but it doesn't quite support your argument to me. It's like, I make a better video than this. It's like, fuck off. What? It's the holier than thou attitude. I just don't think was very warranted in taking down this other YouTuber, I guess. So that was weird. And yeah, again, I'm sorry to highlight this after he makes much better, like, additive, like, fine content otherwise. So I'm sorry to do that. I get that. But that's something I was noticing. I was like, I don't know why he had to do that. Maybe you mentioned it. It's like, oh, he added me on Twitter or something. Like, apparently he's shitty on Twitter too. And I mean, I have no relation with this guy. I have no idea. I'm just hearing it from Masked Man, I guess. But you see what I mean? It's like I didn't get a full understanding of him the same way I might with like a content cop or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, or the fact that it's not very constructive. I don't think Masked Man was saying anything that was like, you could do better than this. I think he was just like, fuck off guy, and he just doesn't like him. And you can totally feel that way, and have those personal perspectives, but I don't think that's going to do anything. Like, what does that mean? Are you going to try to dissuade your viewers from watching him or something? Or because this is probably the first time people have heard of him. You're giving him this platform, you know. Um, but it's like, you don't want him to be better. You don't want him to do better, and because and I just don't like that personally. I would like to see better out of people that I talk negatively about when I talk about videos I didn't like. I really try to make it like, look, I know you're a human being, um, and like, maybe I don't get your intentions or anything like that, or I disagree with a lot of your stuff, um, but like, leave a little room for the guy to just so he listens to you. Do you want him to listen to you? That's my thing. It's like I want to get my message through to people, um, and not just be like entertaining or like one of these drama channels or something like that really don't care and are just there for the, they're just there to milk the views and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, it just didn't sit right with me, you doing this, and I'm sorry again to bring it up like that. But yeah, that was a weird video. It's like, okay, but it wasn't the only one, and I was gonna give this guy the video a decent, mainly because I do agree with kind of some of the point with a good deal of the points actually, but the more I thought about it and I discussed it with some other people, I just felt like talking about it. Um, yeah, and it also kind of sucks too because because I just had a wonderful experience collaborating with him on content. So should we watch more anime with Made in Abyss Dawn of the Deep Soul from Best Guy Ever? And yeah, or and then anime is for everyone is I guess is on the thumbnail. I'm not sure what the messaging is there. Okay, so yeah, I was on Cantan discussing fall 2020 anime. Then you can. It's in the. I'm not really going to discuss it because it is what it is. It's it's me, Digi, Best Guy Ever, and this guy Dune-kun, talking about fall anime. And it's 2.5 hours if you want to listen to it. It's cool. It's fun. We had a good time. And they're very cordial, very nice guys, and I love talking with them. I love talking with Nate. We talked afterwards after the podcast, and that was really fun too. Great guy, but yeah. And the thing is, right? We know what he's capable of. We know what he can do. We know how talented he is. And this was not it. And okay, so the thing is, right? I can tell that this is more of like not like a passion project, like a thing he was planning and like thinking. It's a lower tier priority, right? There are some videos where it's like, I have this idea and it's cool enough to make a video out of, or interesting enough to make a video out of, but I'm not going to put all my effort into it, and that's fine. And so then the decision ends up having to be, how am I going to convey this so it's still like engaging, or in a way that is transparent, that it gets the right expectations for people. I think especially because like people are familiar with Best Guy Ever and what they're expecting of him and the stuff he's capable of. I think every video he drops like this, if he doesn't set those expectations that, guys, this is not one of those other things, because it's like Wiagawa or Mia Mathwiz, where you have that label and the aesthetic of the video and the way you're making it, it's like, yeah, we get it. This is the amount of effort you're putting into it. That clicks. And so our expectations are set reasonably. So, I mean, the fact that this was mostly looping PV footage of the Made in Abyss movie, I was getting into that with, like, at first, and I was expecting more. And then when I realized that it's just the same footage over and over, just the whole thing, it really deflates the expectations. It's like, oh, what are you doing? And it makes me wonder. It's where it's like, yeah, they could have done way more with this. Like there's this really great section where Nate's talking about the idea of watching more anime and watching seasonal. Should we watch seasonal anime? This idea of casual consumption. It's like people just watch an episode that comes out every week and then moves on with their life. They don't think about it that much or whatever, and it's very passive. And Nate kind of pushes against that idea where it's like, don't you want like this stuff to kind of enrich your life and kind of like be more valuable in that way and not just a time waster? Because it's great. A lot of this stuff is fantastic and you don't want to trivialize it like that. is what I was getting from it, and I like that. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with the Main Abyss movie. It just links it to it in the way that's like it reminded me like this is how good anime can be, and what am I doing wasting my time on this nothing of seasonal stuff. And I like that idea. But in the way it's being conveyed, it's again this like Dawn of the Deep Soul looping footage or whatever. And then at that point, it's like, well, why don't you just make this like an aesthetic GIF or something, or just something that's like that you can tell you're not putting a whole bunch into it, right? You kind of reasonably set expectations, and you can kind of build off of it from there, maybe, and kind of add on to that. But I just don't. That was weird. That was a very weird choice, and the music choice was really weird too. Like you have Kevin Bacon's soundtrack, and you talk about it later too, like the creation of it. But the way that I forget, it was like some MIDI 8-bit thing that you were starting with, and it's like, what's the vibe that you're creating with this video? Like, what's the idea behind it? And it doesn't have to be like appropriate. It just has to be a tone, I would hope so, at least. I would like that. I mean, even again, it's just like, this is a video I just came up with the other day and just banged it out in 12 hours. That can totally happen, but I think that you have to be very selective and kind of wise with those choices, I guess. Because it just came off to me as kind of like phoning it in. And you don't want that. You don't necessarily want that, I think. But I get like a looping GIF thing. It sounds worse. It sounds like a worse idea. Like it's less effort. And like more phoning it in. But like I think that would at the very least set the audience expectations, and it'd be like, okay, I don't have to get upset about this video. It's like it's just him coming off, or even the way you wrote. I don't know if this is like unscripted or not. I was sort of feeling it was a little bit at points, but I don't know. Maybe it could be. I think the fact that the fact that you've practiced a lot with Wiagawa and Miyamafa twice, of course, and streaming. I would imagine if this was unscripted, I wouldn't be surprised. And it sounds legit. It sounds like really good in that way. But then it's like, ton of talk like, hey guys, I'm just here to talk about this thing. And I don't know, kind of set expectations, I guess. So I guess I was kind of going into this with, you kind of set it with wrong expectations, and it ended up being like, what is he doing? It just kind of made for kind of a weird experience. That and the fact that I just think content-wise, I like the individual points that you're saying, but like collectively, it was like, wait, why are we now talking about the kind of the use of language in Made in Abyss and this whole Kevin Bacon thing? It's like, it's interesting, but what did that have to do with this other thing? With should we care about anime more in this way? And like you talking about your demographics was kind of interesting. There's a lot of pieces here that are cool, but like, yeah, and it was just. But again, I think the whole thing also is just bizarre coming from BestGuyEver, given what we know he's able to do, as well as like what he's been doing recently. I think he was having a better year. He's kind of hit a different stride, and that Ghost in the Shell video was really good, and stuff like that. It was just like, that's weird. You know what I mean? It was just kind of setting weird expectations for me. So I mean, I hope that isn't like, I don't know. I hate to do that to kind of scathe it in this way and kind of not good or whatever. But yeah, that's just what I was feeling about it. Of what I was sort of thinking, and it got me thinking, because it's like, certain choices, so very very minor choices, can really lead it to being a much different, like fine, better experience. I think. Like it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy. Actually, I shouldn't say it. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. It is possible. I should say, it's possible to make choices that are aesthetically pleasing and are easy and are just like, plug and play. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's sort of where I'm coming from, I guess. Also, I should mention, I mean, I just want to be a little more positive. I liked the experiment that you demonstrate with, like, you look at the 3 criteria, and then you looked at the false chart, and it's like, here's all the ones that I was like, and boop, and it's like, here are all the checks and checks and checks. Here's the ones I actually would want to care about more. Just like, would I actually just want to watch this out of my own free will? It's like, boop. It's just the Inuyasha spin. I was like, look, I want to know if they fucked or whatever. That was funny, and little bits like that is good. Little bits of that was like what I was hoping it was like. It was like, yeah, there you go, sort of deal. But then just the general like looping PV footage, I was like, come on. I was a little bummed about that. I mean, you could have at least used like Made in Abyss for like, and also like, was it just because you had like the still photos? There was some footage you had that was like very spoilery. So it's like, did you have the whole movie? Like, where did you get some of that footage? It's like, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, I'm sorry to nitpick this, right? But it's, yeah. That's what I was feeling about it. But yeah, thank you for having me on your podcast. God damn it. Oh, jeez. I guess I'm not going back. Oh, man. No, but yeah. Would it be? Okay, now for some videos that I thought were decent. Pretty sweet. And the first one that I'm going to put is from ProfessorViral. Viral? I don't know. And it's not the video people were sending me. Because he's putting out a lot of videos per week. It was actually really impressive. I was seeing there's a couple new channels that I learned of today, which is impressive. But like, he's been doing videos for a long time, mostly video game stuff, and then only recently he's been kind of turning towards anime. And even like in the past couple of days, a couple of weeks and stuff, like he was putting out like very consistent content, which is impressive. Very long content too. And the Black Lagoon videos are very successful. A month ago, he had his most successful video about Rock becoming a heroic villain, which is awesome. I guess people have been really starved for Black Lagoon content. And then he had like 2 other videos recently, including one this week. But people were sending me that video because it's really good. But I haven't seen Black Lagoon, and I had subbed to him, and then I guess throughout being subbed and throughout the week, I saw this video on the beautiful contradiction of Cowboy Bebop. And I was interested because it's like, I love Bebop. It is in my top 10, but like, I really need to watch it again. I really should. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I can watch that. And I'm interested. Cool. And yeah, it was interesting. So for what I know, and I hate to be more metatextual and talk more about his channel, but what I thought was interesting was that he put out a Bebop video a week ago already. Another like 24 minutes, like twice as long as this video. And then 2 months ago, he had this 30-minute Cowboy Bebop video. It's like, woof, talking a lot about Bebop so far. And it was weird when I saw that after the fact, that after I started watching the video, where I think he starts it as like, there's been so much he's talked about, so many people have talked about Cowboy Bebop, and it's like, yeah, you have. like in hindsight, I was like, I saw those, and I'm like, wait, didn't he say that he kind of contextualizes this as like, oh, a lot of people talked about Bebop, and it's hard for me to talk about whatever. It's like, you don't seem. I don't know. That's just something I've noticed. I haven't seen those other 2 videos, but I just thought that was sort of interesting. And he's kind of doing similar things with Gios, and I'm sorry to be more kind of metatextual. Anyway, I just think it's interesting. But this video, it was good. I think he has a good pulse on what Bebop is kind of going for. I just think it was lacking for me with the visuals. It's really just clip selection and music choice. It's like, I think with Bebop you have so much at your disposal to make a really aesthetically pleasing video that would complement your style of writing, where at least in this video, I felt it was a lot more soupy and abstract, and not so much like, I think this would be better to read than to listen to as a video, I felt. And those sorts of scripts can still work in videos. You just have to have really compelling visuals to complement it. And and I just didn't get that with the video, especially with like, I don't know why you didn't use the dub, like the clean footage of Bebop. Like, I don't know why there were subs when you're not like referencing the subs or anything like that. It's I know it's a nitpick, but like, especially when there's a dub for this, and maybe you don't like the dub. I don't know. I wouldn't. Some people do, I guess, but like, use the footage that doesn't have subs on it, so it's not distracting and kind of contrasting with your point. It's like, okay, why are you showing me this with the text? You know, there's things like that it makes it for mixed messaging, I guess. And like, yeah, it didn't have as much like going on with in that regard, I guess. Yeah, and I'm sorry to kind of be that about that with it. But that's just with the, again, like this kind of writing doesn't really hook me personally, and it kind of goes in one ear out the other. So yeah, it's hard for me to really concretely point out anything I liked about it content wise with like, you know, textual things. The thing that I guess sticks out to my mind is like, yeah, the kind of the idea with contradictions, I guess, with like it's able to do both of them very even-handedly, showing that the world is very complex and holistic, I guess. I don't know, but that's, you know what I mean. That was just what I was missing from it. I just think that the music selection didn't seem like you had very specific beats in the video. Like, here's this paragraph, here's this paragraph. It just kind of kept going and going, and then the music would kind of finish and stop, and then the new track would go like from the beginning. It wouldn't be orchestrated in a particular way that I was noticing. And I get that's very nitpicky and stuff, and I don't usually. That's just what was coming off to me with this. I was like, this could be really good. I think I would enjoy this better if there was more attention put into the presentation of it, I guess. But then I'm like, and then I look at your channel and I see how many videos you're making per week and per month, and it's like, I see, yeah, okay, because you have to put that much out, and that's your prerogative, and that's fine. That's fine, but you know, I think I'm like, okay, that's where it's coming from. That's why it's like that, probably, arguably. Lee, the adverb vomit at you. But on a base level, I did enjoy it. You know, it's like, yeah, it was comfy, but like, you know, I was just expecting more out of it, I suppose, as a Bebop video, which like I think you sort of use it as a lampshade when you mentioned that at the beginning, where it's like, oh, a lot of people talk about Bebop. It's hard for me to do it justice, I guess, or something. I don't know. It's possible. I think you could do it. Especially one suggestion, quick, you know, easy, not easy. Sorry, I keep using easy. But like one idea, just as a, you know, the borders with the 4:3 aspect ratio, and you blur out the back, you blur it with like the similar footage and stuff. It works, especially if like you're using other footage that's 16:9, like the full footage. But you know, if it's just Bebop footage, you know, it is possible to render the video or to the sequence in the video maker to keep it at 4:3 aspect ratio, and it's just a box. If it's just going to be clip selection, I don't know. I think personally, for example, you know what I mean. I would just like to see more thought put into that sort of aspect, I guess. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, that's me with like astronomically high standards. Given what I've even seen this week, like there were some incredible fucking videos. But you know, I enjoyed that, and I'm sorry if those people who are sending me the Rocks videos like, oh, that was way better, or whatever. And like, yep, that's probably true. But I don't think I would fully get that. If without having seen it, I guess. But also, I want to see Black Lagoon. I don't really want to be spoiled to it. So that's it. That's all it was, I guess. I was like, yeah, I'll go with this one instead. But yeah, thanks for everyone who's sending me that. And I am subbed, so looking forward to more. Another new creator, and this one's she's much newer. PB and Joe is putting out reviews, I guess. Pretty standard anime reviews. She did Kids on the Slope, and then I'm reviewing this. I watched this Berserk video, one of the best '90s anime. And in pretty. What's the word? Uh, Standard? I don't know. Quaint, I guess. But that's. I think that's been used more of a derogatory term lately. It's quaint. No. I just think that like it was comfy. I don't know. I was like, yeah. I like that there wasn't like an effort to make this the best Berserk video or something like that. Right away, I thought the music choice was actually really good here. Coming off of other videos, I really liked you can't go wrong with Susumu Hirasawa, which I hate to be this guy who brings this sort of stuff up, but you use an image for the writer, I think, of Berserk 97, for not Miura, obviously, but you use an image of the anime writer, I guess, or the guy who like was behind the writing of the anime, I guess. And I believe that it was that image. But then later you use the exact same image for Susumu Hirasawa. And I know that guy. I know what he looks like. That's not Susumu Hirasawa. Easy mistake. Super Eye Patch Wolf has famously done it before. So don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Just wanted to point it out. Sorry to start it with that, but I really liked the use of his soundtrack here, as someone who's used his soundtrack before as well in my Berserk videos, where like you started with Beyblade and then had like the murder thing. Like, this is Berserk, boom, and it had like the murder track. I think that's Murder or Ghosts. I don't remember. And then mostly using Beyblade and Guts and stuff like that. And it's like but it's very standard going through story characters, animation, and it was leaning a lot into how old this anime is. It's so old, you guys. It's like it's real. It's a real fossil, 1997. real ancient. I'm sorry if you don't know who I am. I talk a lot about anime from the 1970s. Think 97's ancient. you don't know the half of it. Oh man, no. And it was just funny in that way. I'm sorry. But I like that she's very even-handed with everything, and she's like, I usually I tell people usually do dub, but here it's like do both sort of deal. Kind of mentions there's a manga and other movies in the TV series and stuff, and doesn't like go so over the top of how bad the other series, the 16 and 17 are, whatever. Shut up. And I think generally she's very affable and likable in this sort of review. It doesn't feel like very low energy or boring or anything like that. And she's engaged with the content, I think. And it's like one thing I did like and one thing I didn't like. And one thing I think other people think this way, but I personally was like, this makes sense, or this is good. Things like that. I think there was a very even-handedness of her personal outlook with giving a general outlook of this review. And I do appreciate that she was like, a lot of you probably already seen this, but I want to catch some people that haven't. And it's like, that's totally fair. So that I appreciated that too. And so that was pretty much it. But some people sent me her way as like, hey, new creator. I was like, heck yeah. So starting out very, very early. I'm enjoying it, and looking forward to more content, I guess. Yeah. Tyranno finally watched Ojamajo Doremi 20 years late. It's like, I got. I mean, how long since you've heard about it? Did you watch it immediately when you watched it? Never mind. But it's another general review of Ojamajo Doremi, just the first season, which kind of came for like a lot of some funny things where like Tyranno was like, it's really great that the show doesn't really care so much about what they're gonna do when they grow up. They just want to have fun. And I'm like, yeah, definitely. he's like, well, I had a lot of fun with the first season. I'm sure the rest of the season will be just as fun. It's like, yeah, yeah, that it's different. Season two onwards, they add a certain element that some people don't like, but is pretty integral to the series, and it actually goes in that direction that you're thinking it does it. That you're happy it didn't, and it's like, oh, awkward, you know. Um, but no, of course, it's one of my favorite anime. So I'm happy you talked about it, and glad you enjoyed it. And I liked your observations for sure. The one you were saying with like, they want you to have fun, but having active responsibility. The Anpu example you bring is true and good. Um, I was just wondering, thinking about the Majorika thing, where it's Dormi's fault that she turns into, which it is, but but like, to be fair, they don't really frame it as something she has to fix or correct. Like, obviously Majorika frames it like that because she wants to turn back. Um, but the more, especially the way the series goes on, uh, I think I like what you said, that like there was something where it's like the show doesn't have fun at other people's expense. That's great. That's a really good point. I really like that too about it. But with Majorica, it's it's interesting because I do think it slightly goes into the idea of personal responsibility, but at the same time, she gave herself away like pretty easily. Like, Majorica was not hiding it at all, and it was a lot her fault for giving the signals and just kind of recklessly assuming that no one was going to walk into her shop that didn't know what a witch was and would just accuse people of being witches. Like, knowing the dangers that she could be turned into a witch frog if someone does this. It's like, you have to disguise yourself pretty well and show, like, pretend to not be a witch, to blend in, basically, if you want to work in the human world. Um, which, like, I get that's more of like a thing in later seasons too and stuff. There's some other witches that come in as well. Um, but that was just something interesting to me, where it's like, yeah, but Majorica didn't try to hide it, and not like she was looking to turn into one, but it's partly her recklessness too. That someone as stupid as Doremi was able to notice. It's just like, oh, you know, it's really funny. Every time, like, you have like Majorica contrasted with Doremi and how dopey and goofy she is, and she's like, why did I do, it's because it's like, well, you did get caught by this girl. It's like, it's kind of your fault too. Oh, kind of deal. I'm sorry to kind of geek out about the side thing. It doesn't have so much to do with the video itself, I guess. But I don't know. I just wanted to cover it because it's an Doremi video and you don't get those too often. Um, so yeah, I wanted to point that out and say I enjoyed it. Nice work. Of course, I'm gonna click on Dakota's video on what it's like editing 200 plus videos for AniTube video. Of course, I like the thumbnail. um, with having editing for so many videos for Sydney, for SidSnap, and Anime Uproar, Nux, even some Pokemon guys. That was really interesting to see. I really liked how down to earth you are and how like personable and affable you are on camera, and talking about pretty candidly about your experience. I just DM'd them or whatever, or I get these offers from other people and networking like that, without having to go like so personal with like figures and money and stuff like that. I like these videos that are more on the technical, like learning about a craft sort of deal. And none of these other, like, you're not the only YouTuber that's editing for other people that is in our space, but none of those guys have really mentioned that on their channels. They've kept that largely separate. But I like that this was a kind of the first time I've seen someone really introduce that side of their work into their own channel, and introduce that to people. Saying like, yeah, I edited that, and I'm a part of that, and that was really great. I love that sort of shit. And obviously, like, talking about those, about the various videos, geeking out about certain effects that you do, like that one edit you show for Anime Man's manga tour, like his manga live, his collection. Um, that was nice. I was like, yeah, as editors, right? If you like editing, and you like a good edit, you like a good like transition or a good thing or two, certain tricks and stuff. That sort of shit. That's like, yeah, that's always fun for me at least. And I think it's interesting for other people too. I wish there was more of that, to be honest with you. I felt like you kind of got in the groove of it towards the middle, but like early on, when you were showing off like stuff for Sydney, it didn't feel like you were showing so much of your effects and stuff. It was just like, yeah, I had it for Sydney, and it just felt, I don't know, not to criticize the, it's like, who cares? It's just to say, granted, I could say that about anything with AniTube Digest. Who fucking cares? I liked that. That sort of flippant, like affable, like personality with like the you put the headphones on, and you're like, oh, you like my headphones? So the kind of like, no, I like them. You don't have to like them. Fuck off, or whatever. So like that personable thing was really great to see. Yeah, and the two different cameras things was funny because you're trying to see both of them. That's tough. That was tough. But like I like that you show two different frames and then when you're showing the content and stuff. The making of the video was cool too. I just would have liked even more moments of those, like, look at this cool edit, like, yo, or just or cringe. I like the one moment where you're like, oh, what was that? With the anime uproar thing, where it's like, what the hell is that? Things like that. That was funny. But yeah, I really liked I like videos like this, and come on, Core and Jax boy, and these where's my I edited 1,000 videos for next Taku. But oh Jesus, no, it's funny. But yeah, I liked that. That was cool. And it's another. I think this might be the first time I'm covering a video from Catgirl Research Society. I can't remember if I covered one of their like it looked like a live stream or something like that. Some recorded thing. It was longer. I don't remember if I actually ended up covering it, but this is like the stuff that they actually make. And it's very true to form. Hideaki Anno is the Chupacabra, and the cover is like, the thumbnail is like a TED Talk, and I think half the video is mimicking and parodying the TED Talk format to a fucking T. Like the mannerisms, the various cutaways to the audience and stuff, the way it's edited, and the dialogue, and even right down to the sound quality, like the way the video sounded, like audio quality wise, sounded just like a TED Talk, which is really funny. And like, as someone who watches TED Talks unironically, I just thought that was hilarious, and like, showing very like really like stutter shock photos on top and stuff, and how pedantic and like substanceless it felt. It's like, one more thing, like, what do we do about it? That's Hideaki Anno, famed director of the Cutie Honey live action movie. Like, stuff like that. They're really funny, and they leave these crumbs for people where it's like, yeah, we know, we're in the know, and they're not just like making these jokes kind of, and you feel like they're newbies or something. Or just kind of taking advantage of the aesthetic of anime. It's like they really like this stuff, and they've looked at these interviews with Hano and stuff, but then making these really funny shit posts. I'm sorry if I'm calling them shit posts and that's like insulting for you. I don't know, but I love them. And I liked it mostly in that first half, and then like it really spirals. It doesn't do the tumbling down thing. That'd be too on the nose. I forget what music track they use, but like, it's like a collage of images and a lot of Hideaki Anno, and like they Photoshop it with like blood on his like blood stains, and like him having like fangs and stuff of him being the Chupacabra. What? They're very nonsensical and absurd and very creative. I really like their stuff, and they're very oddball and interesting. It's a duo, I think. It's mostly a duo. I think it's like an editor and kind of front man, and I don't know their names. I apologize. But yeah, I think they're both really great with what they do here, and yeah, I enjoy their videos a good deal. I'm happy to see them make something else like this. It's always a delight. It's a rare pleasure. It's nice. It's good to see them again. But yeah, I really liked that. Okay, but let's talk about what I thought were the best videos of the week. Like, really, ooh, damn, kind of like, yeah, you know how it be. First is the Anime Man, or should I say Ikuru? I think is his sort of stage name, or his kind of account for music related stuff. Kind of like how Digi has the Golden Witch. So Ikaru and Gray Fox collaborated on Shiro Kitsune, a full album. Well, it's 11 minutes, so it's more like an EP for me, but it's 4 tracks, and they're really good. And so like Joey's talked about how into music he is, and he's a little bit more of a music elitist. He likes to think, at least, and he's really passionate about it to the point where he's starting to make stuff, and you can tell with this out. I think this is the first. I mean, I may have sampled his piano album. Like he has this track, this album I think that has mostly piano tracks. I believe it was one of something like that. It was a little while ago. Um, I remember sampling a little bit of that, but this was really good. This is mostly like a rap album, but it's all Japanese, and Gray Fox is also rapping in Japanese here, and it seems pretty technically proficient. I can't appreciate it so much with like they didn't really post like the lyrics or what it means, like the translation, I guess. So I can't really judge like the thematic narrative quality to it, I guess. It's I don't know if they're speaking gibberish. I know they did. I know they're not. Like Joey's incredibly fluent at Japanese. So I trust that the technical skill is pretty high here. And also I don't really listen to Japanese rap all that much. It's just not for me the same way Western rap is. But I love the production on this. Wow, is real. I'm not a music critic, right? Okay, but I really liked how layered and detailed and multifaceted the instrumentation was here. A lot of different horns and like different instruments and things, and it was layering a lot of different beats and like really catchy and thick. I don't know. I think it was very fun, and really chill. I think it's mostly kind of like a vibe sort of thing, not like a lo-fi hip hop thing, not at all. It actually has a lot more energy to that, but I just think it's more it's something to drive to. It's very good driving music, I think, where like you're on the highway and there's a nice sunset on the side and everything like that. It's like it's very aesthetic in that way. But I especially like the last track. I like how much energy and like effort and I don't know to the production mostly, but and the cadence with the flow, I guess. A rapper's flow. No. I really liked that. This was really great. I'm so happy that Joey is showing off this talent on his main channel, and he has a separate Twitter account for his music stuff, and I did follow it after this album dropped because I was like, yeah, this is really good. I'd love to see more with like try to follow you on like SoundCloud or Bandcamp, wherever you post, really, because it's great. And he was saying in his Twitter bio he wants to try to do every genre of music until he finds one that he likes or something like that. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting and exciting. I like artists that don't have a wheelhouse or a very specific thing, and they're gonna just kind of try a lot of different stuff. But I think this foray into rap and the type, I think he's very inspired by like Nujabes and things like that. Again, it's not very lo-fi. I think it has more energy. But exploring those influences and putting together projects, especially the collab. I think Gray Fox does a great job here too. I don't know how much he helped in the production or anything like that. I can't really tell all that much. But he does feature at least to the where like it's both of them, which is great. That's awesome. Yeah, I just really liked this album. Thank you for making it. So thank you for the food. Here is another newer face. I think this is there's four new channels here. Like new to me, okay? New to me, and this is very sudden because this is something somebody posted in a Discord chat, and I was just like, oh shit, cool. Never heard of this guy. College Debt, uh, Shinichiro Watanabe, and the two-shot dynamic. Although he doesn't really focus so much on Watanabe specifically, it's like, oh, Watanabe does this a lot, or anything like that, to where if what you were expecting from a title like that. He's really just focusing on. It's a short. It's like a 3-episode thing from Watanabe. That's not like Bebop or something. It's not like one of his major popular works or anything. And College Debt is like, I'm actually focusing on this short and Kaiba to demonstrate this idea of shot composition where you have a dividing line, and and how you play with that, how you bring characters into the same frame versus like separated with each other. And this is not a new idea. Mother's Basement's talked about this and Erased, I remember. People have definitely mentioned it in Gridman, and College Debt brings up Gridman as well. It does it a lot. But yeah, I think there was an energy to it, especially towards the beginning, that he had this like every frame a painting influence, where he's using kind of footage of the show with the sound and everything, and kind of immersing you right away. That was really strong. The narration's really good. I just think the two big notes, but like generally, I think it was really great and a really delightful surprise. And the technical amount, nothing too fancy with the effects or anything like that, but I think it was very engagedly edited to where you're constantly looking and paying attention and engaging with the content. And I like how much effort he's putting into the orchestral component, the music stuff. You can tell there's a lot more, like he really wants to emphasize that maybe more so than his talking sometimes, which I totally feel. I've done that before. That's great. Although I will say there's some points where I did think it overwhelmed it too much, and I thought it kind of contrasted in a little more of a disengaging and kind of like, oh, what kind of way. But so I mean, I thought the orchestration was really ambitious and cool, just a teeny bit sloppy, but I was still very happy he's shooting for that at all. I'm sorry I don't have very specific examples to share. I thought it was mostly towards the end, like the last third, that I thought was a little too much in places. But the subtitle work and the clip selection again, and a lot of the different things that you're using. The quote from that one guy, I don't think, maybe you credit him at the end, and I would have liked to see like who was saying that as they were saying it, like just a name at the bottom of the subtitles or something. Just a small nitpick and stuff, but I love that you used that. But it was great, and it's really exciting. And the guy only has like 3 videos out, and he only just started like a couple weeks ago. Oh no, a year ago. Oh, okay. Oh no, he's just so it is only 3 videos, but his first one was a year ago, and the last one was 6 months ago. So I'm just catching this guy like just recently, so that's great. But yeah, no, he's really good. I really liked him. And I also, but one more note, it was weird that he was like, we're gonna focus on this short and Kaiba, which he does use specific examples of, but he also brings up Gridman. He also brings up Only Yesterday and a lot of these other things. And it's like, well, you could have probably just focused on just those things. I don't know, either kind of one or the other sort of deal. Like, say you're just gonna choose from Kaiba in this short, or do a bunch of other shows, and I think that would have worked either way. But that was just a little point of confliction in the video from me that I noticed, as someone who watches a lot of this stuff and makes it himself, sort of deal. But no, I was so happy to see that. Thank you for the person who DM'd me that. Not DM'd. He didn't even DM me. It was posted on one of the Discord channels I was in, and I just saw it. I was like, heck yeah. Yeah. Good shit. Mathwiz with a half-hour banger. Bloom Into You Changed Me. It's another Bloom Into You video from Mathwiz, and I like that she includes sort of an amendments of her previous video, kind of bringing in that self-reflection of her own content that she's been very interested in lately, more featured prominently, I guess, but it's in more of her content, I think, now. Hunter x Hunter does make an appearance, which is really funny. I've just given the meme and stuff of like I can't stop thinking about Togashi or whatever. But that's funny. I get it. Hunter x Hunter's cool. Um, but this is way more of a personal video for Mathwiz than most of her other stuff. Like, I do like that she's been putting herself in her videos like lately with like the essay content stuff and bringing herself more into it. But like in the 3 parts that this video is split into, like she kind of ends each section really digging, like really having really challenging questions for herself and thus for the audience, because when you reflect with yourself and it becomes a personal video, I think it does kind of make you think of what you feel, because it is exploring this idea that you is asexual, or is she what was it, quadromatic? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mathwiz had a word that she used to describe it, and I forget what it is. But this idea of that Bloom to You is really exploring partly that it is two main characters, of like, you know, if you don't fall in love or you don't feel love, are you really that, or are you? And it's very confusing, very like messy, and there's a lot of conflicting things, and I think it's a difficult subject to parse that Mathwiz is clearly wrestling with as well. She's like, I still haven't found it. There's several drafts in, but given the fact I could tell it was several drafts in, because the way it's being communicated is not giving that off at all. I thought I was like, this is going to be very easy for me to check out and be like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm just going to be here for the personal stuff. So like whenever you're talking about the manga, I'm like, yeah, that looks nice. But like even when you're out the other sort of deal. But I was engaging and listening with most of what you were saying. I thought you really articulated it well with the visuals, and it was nice and compartmentalized and doesn't feel all over the place, and you're bouncing from this and this character and back to this character sort of deal. It didn't feel messy like that, and I think it was very well constructed in that way, especially for just such a confusing, weird topic of like, but what is it? And yeah, but like the personal stuff was really especially valuable and harrowing, and it was very interesting for you to say that with like you know, mutuals and friend making, and becoming very vulnerable, talking about the 2 times you've had crushes, and the unsuccessful nature of them is especially difficult, especially given your audience size, right? And again, maybe you'd be like, oh, not as many of my shonen subscribers are going to click on a Bloom to You video, so maybe I'm safe. No, but it's like still a fair number of people you're opening that up to, and being public about. I think it's really great, because I think other people will see that, and seeing that bravery and that openness, and I think even when you don't fully get yourself, or you're struggling with who you are and yourself, you know, and you still have these problems that, as much as you're fixing the other things, these things stay the same. I think a lot of people feel that in their own way. Maybe not the same problems as you, of course, but I think a lot of people have that experience. So I think that's great that you were vocalizing that. So yeah, I thought it was really great and valuable for that. The manga stuff was cool. Yeah. Especially the one with like as you were reading it, like, and it was after like a really vulnerable point for you, like one of those like moments and stuff, and like kind of harrowing and stuff. A lot of stuffs in this video. I mean, take a drink every time I say stuff. That point when you were reading it, like as if you were reading it, I guess it felt like it was less like you were acting it out, and more like it was us kind of witnessing you read those panels, and given the context that you presented to us, and then having that was like really kind of strong and interesting, and the amount of like, you know, the real extra, like manga stuff, like the cool stuff. I don't know. Not that it was not like none of it. No, no. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Forget it. I think all of it was really cool. Uh, yeah, but that was really great, and thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing. No, yeah, but that was cool. Really good job. But holy wow, this was extra surprising. There's this video by this user, Lines in Motion, that I was pointed to in a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, I'm on my radar. And then they just drop a video, like, heck yeah, finally able to talk about them. Uh, New creator, only has like 4 videos total now. Started very recently, and her quality of output is fucking insane. I have not seen her other videos yet. I'm not too interested in that. Yeah, so subject matter wise, okay? What it be? Uh, but this one, Witch Hat Atelier, visual storytelling through manga paneling. Whoa. uh, the technical craft on display is very impressive, and it made me really suspicious of like, have you done this before? Are you new? Hold on, wait, whoa, like this is good, like really good. I'm so jealous. Like, of course she has better text game than me. Oh, the text is so good. I'm just talking mostly on a nuts and bolts type of thing with this. The way this video looks and moves and continues to keep your attention, even when she's not talking about the subject like right away. Like I think she takes like a third of the video, if not more, to actually get to talking about Witch Hat, and like really going into like, oh, I think it was about halfway through when it's like, I'm gonna break it down into these 4 components. It's like 10 minutes into this 20-minute video. That's but didn't really matter because like those first 10 minutes were still really engaging and good. I like the way she hooks the audience at the beginning, showing this haiku panel, and she's like, but that's not a haiku panel. This is the haiku panel, and this is the one that I made. And it's like, this is the reason mine is poor. Like this, I made it worse. Here's how I made it worse, and it's like this and pointing all this stuff out, and like the fact that it was so convincing, and a very compelling hook, and just a lot of really interesting points. And it's like, yeah, the frame and the visualizing it right with the different colors and lines and blocking everything out. That's so much fucking work. It's just okay. And like her last video was like a month ago. So it's like, how long was this video being made? What? You know, like me and this other guy, I'm about to talk about his video later. I showed him this video, and we're like, what the fuck? Jesus, this is crazy. She's doing incredible work here at Lines in Motion. Gosh, the sourcing and I thought the fact that the way you source all the music tracks and the sources in the description was great. You cite your shit. Yeah, and gosh, but it's just gorgeous, and it really steps up to the level that this manga is at when it comes to its artistry. Like, it's a really gorgeous manga, and she really sells it to you. And that's what I'm looking for when it comes to, like, you know, when you're talking about the content you're talking about. I would rather you be able to like really step up to its level, I guess. You know, I don't know. That's just me, I guess. But that was really impressive, and it, for someone that's like so new, I don't know if you're a former editor or something, but it's insanely impressive that you're at this point. You're already at this point, you know, like this is a lot, way better than a lot of us, I think. So that just makes it wickedly exciting to follow and to subscribe. She has already hit 1,000 subs, which is great. Because her Owl House, her last video was about Owl House, so that kind of blew up a little bit, so that was good. But I do think the quality does obviously speak for itself. It's like, yeah, of course. Holy shit. I just couldn't believe it. That would probably be one of the best videos of the week for me. I just think manga video wise, that was probably one of the best videos this year. Probably. I'm probably overselling it. I'm not overselling it. I'm not really giving many specifics, I guess, but I'm just kind of flabbergasted, I guess, at it. My only kind of note about it would be the fact that it was weird how long it took her to actually start talking about this particular manga, but it really didn't matter because that's just how good and engaging the video is, and her delivery of it, and breaking everything down and stuff like that. The visual quality, it's fantastic. It's a video. It's a fucking video. Let's fucking go. God, you're not just like using this as a platform to like give your video essay kind of deal. You did not give your video essay to give your college essay to, and just slap visuals on top of it, right? No offense to some other people. I'm sorry. I don't mean to take some offense, but it's a very common thing some people do. But this is sick. This is really, really freaking good. I just can't wait to see what else you're gonna make, because she's making content fairly regularly, all things considered. So like that's gonna be crazy to see where she goes, and how much more popular she can get. I think that's gonna be great. Fuck yeah. But yeah, it's not the best video of the week. It's only because this might be just one of the best videos of the year, easily. And I'm so happy Beyond Ghibli is able to make that, because as I've really liked his stuff, and then like I'll be candid, okay? Well, like when I started talking with him, like DMing him and stuff like that, the videos, it was a little demystified for me, and the videos I'm like, yeah, these are good, these are really good, but it wasn't blowing my dick off. It was like, yeah, this is good. Even like the Beck video a couple weeks ago or whatever. Like, it was stuff like, yeah, this is great. But this is what I was like looking for. And it was like, yeah, I knew he could do something like this. And he delivered and a half. He just put out a video, Degenerate. It's just called Degenerate. It's an exploration of sex in anime and manga. Hentai video. Best hentai video on the internet. Easily. Like, there's no contest. Purely because everybody who makes a hentai video really tries to embrace it in the more raunchiness and the smuttiness or whatever, and playfulness. And like, Joe obviously knows about that and is read up on it. But that's not he doesn't have that delivery, or he's not Giguk, right? And he's not Nux, he's much classier than them. And it's so tasteful. It's the thing is that, of course, I think it's the best hentai video because it's the most tasteful. Like, no shit, like predictable. You could set your fucking watch to it. It's not even age restricted yet. He thought it'd be taken down by now. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? You don't have to censor like anything. Like the clips, like again, I'm gonna go clip selection, the meme, right? But no, like he almost didn't have to censor anything. I can think of one thing that he censors in this entire video, in a hentai video, and it's not like he's like He's not like skating around it or being like ginger about not showing any no parts. Like it's pretty explicit stuff. Like, yeah, this would be in a hentai and stuff, but or in a doujin or whatever. But like, it's still tasteful thing, and it's very even-handed. He's mixing it with a lot of non-sexual stuff, so it doesn't feel like an overload. But he's not skimping out on this stuff either, so he's not like, pussyfooting around it. Pardon the language, I guess. But like, it's so tasteful, and God, the music just made me want to fucking cry. I was rewatching it. Okay, so like, one of the things that really stuck out to me about it is the first half. I don't think he's ever done this in his channel, where he's talking very holistically about a subject and not about an anime or a series. All of his videos are very targeted towards one thing. If it's not, it's a collection of things. And he only takes like 3 minutes to give us some prelude, and then he goes on with, here's some movies I recommend, or here's some short anime. The short anime video was really good. It was really great. But then this is the first time he's really talking about a subject. And it's so comprehensive and, again, really tasteful. And you could, like, I could show my fucking mom to this video, which is like, whoa, you know what I mean? But, like, to understand it, to, like, get, like, what's the deal? Like, I think this is such a giant, inseparable subject with anime, and everyone knows about it. And I don't know why no one's really talked about it this seriously the way Joe has. I don't think even I'd have to look again, but like even Pause and Select hasn't talked about this sort of idea. Like it was kind of in that vein, and there was some edits that Joe was doing that is very reminiscent or callbacking to Pause and Select with Joe's content. They're both named Joe, okay? That's the problem. But like, okay, so so there's multiple things to this, right? He told me all of this was done in Premiere, which, like, you know, that's the thing I like saying about my videos, like, haha, teehee, I did it in Premiere, whatever. Like, you know, you could do a lot of good stuff in Premiere if you're smart, and you know, there's certain subtle things and things. But I could not believe it. The amount of looks like puppet animation. It looked like the puppet stuff, like characters are moving, heads are moving, hair is moving. There's animation to this. It's like, no, that's done in After Effects. It wasn't done in After Effects, apparently. And the closer I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, he did just move all the individual pieces, and it took him forever. Oh my god! I couldn't believe it. That's so good. Shit. And the amount of clips that he's using, the choices that it's very delicate balance, but a wide variety of hentai and non-hentai titles, and really getting it, you know, like really understanding it on a fundamental level. And like nothing's topping this. I'm sorry. It's fantastic. I would say that like the thing with me, that'll be all transparent. It's a bit of a disappointment. Is the second half being very similar to what he's done in his previous content, which is good. It's still really good because he's able to sell these anime in a way I haven't seen many people do in the same way. Like he really talks more holistically about them and the experience of watching them and kind of what you watch them for. And nobody has sold me on Scum's Wish, Bluma to You, and I've seen that anime. I've already watched Bluma to You, and he sold me better on it. No offense to Mathwiz. But like the way he was talking about each of these series, interspecies reviewers, like the wordplay that he's using and the clip selection, again, he's not censoring on pretty much anything. I think he censored maybe one shot from that, but I wasn't actually sure if that was something that the anime censored or that he did. Right? I don't know. It was fantastic. And then like when Belladonna comes in at the end, I didn't know. He has the time stamps, and I didn't look. And I saw Belladonna. I'm like, let's go! Oh God, because I'm so happy he mentions that, and it's such a big, you know. Hopefully, a lot of eyes get to see it, and Belladonna is worth getting more people to watch it. Jesus Christ, it's so good. One of my favorite anime. Period. But yeah, I'm so happy he talked about that. But, you know, it was similar to his other content. That was the fact that it's a little disappointing is that it's still in his wheelhouse sort of deal. But that was just how much I was impressed in that first half of, like, he's able to carry the subject and he doesn't have to rely on the series itself. And he's able to talk more holistically. I think he absolutely nailed it. I don't know how many rewrites it was. Like, the writing in particular is very impressive with that. And again, not to say the second half slouches. I think it's really good. But yeah, no, it's impressive. It's really great. And the selling of it, the fact that it's the one name, it's great. The fucking title card, like, and we fucked the world, and like the energy to that, and the saying I cried. I interrupted. I think I interrupted myself when I did that. Wait, what part did you cry? After the title card, right? There's all this energy, and then it's the one shot with like that old painting and stuff that's very famous that Elfenlied takes from, I guess. And I don't know what track you used. It must have been from some fucking slice of life. It sounded very nostalgic and like very like this is what it is. You know, I don't know. It was so perfect. God, shit. Oh, that was fantastic. Oh, damn it. Yeah, you know, my video's already out, so I can't have the same kind of reaction I had with Steven, where it's like, oh man, my video can't possibly, you know. Thankfully it's out now, I guess, but I don't know, not to say that. Point of comparison, I guess. I guess when it comes to like the grand scheme of like best videos I've seen this year, it's this caliber I'm looking for. You know, it really is. It's so fucking incredible. I hope you get to watch it before it gets taken down. It's not going to get taken down, dude. Like, someone will have to flag it. Like, someone will have to manually ask you to take it down. Like, no way. That's just how skillful you were with this video. And it's really just like disturbingly well made. Such, like, wow. Oh my goodness. Also, Gigik and Isla have a little cameo here, and like you have like an intro, and then starting with that, and like just textual, and like and then the voices and stuff. Like, oh my god, it was perfect. It was fucking perfect. I was enjoying the fucking piss out of it. Yeah. What the fuck? That was fucking incredible. Thank you so much for making that. God, everyone watch that, please. And I think that will do it for this episode of AniTube Digest. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my patrons, including Beamburst, Dirkcoin, Hazel, Kuiper, MyAnimePod, Najbeb, Tippy Mango, Unique Namosaurus, and Yellow Cheese for supporting this content. You have a great week, everybody. Yo, peace.